Hi, everybody. I'm here to tell you why I think you should add Skull to your board gaming collection. If you like bluffing, you want a quick, easy party game that is simple to learn, you can get people involved right away, and you want a game that could play reasonably outside, well, these are all the reasons why I was interested in picking up a copy of Skull. And I actually got this copy of Skull in a weird way, which, if you don't want to know about it, you just want to know what the game is, well, skip ahead, because I'm going to tell you, because I'm personable. Uh, I've been wanting Skull for a while. Even before I was into the board gaming hobby, I went into a board gaming store for like a Secret Santa, Christmas swap sort of thing. I wanted something around $20, and they directed me to Skull, which used to be called Skulls and Roses. And since then, I've thought this is kind of a cool game, and I've never added it to my collection. And then I was at like an Amazon liquidation sale, and I got this copy of Skull, which has a printing defect in it, and that's why it was returned. And so I got it for like $8. And I thought, perfect, I'm absolutely putting this into my collection. And it has been a pretty big hit, maybe a hit of the summer, and something that I'm thrilled I'm adding into my sort of travel games toolbox. And so the premise of Skull is very simple. Each player will get a little mat and 4 coasters. These 4 coasters, 3 of them will have flowers on them, and 1 will have a skull. Very simple. So depending on how many people you'll play with, we'll pass these out. I assume that should have been pink as well. I don't know. Let's say we're playing with 4 people right now. At the beginning of each round, everybody will put down a coaster. This is how the round starts. Just 1, they will keep the other ones in their hand. You can look at what coaster you've put down, that's completely fine. In this instance, we have put down a flower. Now on your turn, let's say red is going to start. Now let's say I'm red, and on my turn, I can do 2 things. I can choose another coaster of my choice and put it face down, or I can start the bidding. So now if I'm pink over here or orange or whatever it is, I can start the bidding and I'm going to say a number. Orange is going to say the number 2. This indicates the number of coasters Orange thinks that she can turn over without flipping over a skull. If she does, she gets a point, and she would turn her little flippy thing over to indicate that she got a point. If you get 2 points, you win the game. Pretty easy. But you have to bid to win, because green might bid 3. And then purple, there's 5 total. Purple's a bit scared. Purple's going to pass. Red might bid 4 because pink has bid, or orange has bid, and green has bid. And so red knows that we put down 2 flowers, so we feel pretty confident about bidding 4. So we bid 4, orange, pink passes, green passes. Now, here's the trick. You must always start by flipping over your own coaster. So in this case, it's fine. 2 flowers, no skull, didn't have to worry about it. And now you can choose whose coasters you're going to flip over. We've got a good feeling about green, so we're going to flip that. Oh my goodness, it's a skull! Green was bluffing this whole time. Green bluffed us out, wanting us to think that there was a flower there. We have revealed a skull, and so we do not get a point, and in fact, we lose a coaster, a random coaster, into the middle. We now only have 3 coasters left to play with. If you keep on choosing skulls, you will slowly lose more and more coasters until you're out of the game. But luckily, we only lost 1, and it was a random one, and it was a flower, so we still have the power to put our skull down and fool other people. Now, we don't get to look at orange, and we don't get to look at purple, because green had already turned up a skull. Now, let's say, to move back once, green had said 3, and there was a pass, and a pass, and a pass. Green must turn over her own skull first, or her own coaster first, and if it happens to be a skull, she can't turn over any other coasters, right? So sometimes a bluff can pay off, sometimes a bluff can't. That's the whole thing. If, however, we had managed to flip over nothing but, oh, are you kidding me? Purple knew. That's why purple didn't bet. So there was no chance anyone who bid 4 was never going to get a win in this. But say I bid 3, if we'd flipped over just the 3 and we didn't flip over purple, then we would get a point. and 2 points wins the game. That's it. That's how you play Skull. It's very quick. It's super simple. And I'm surprised by how enjoyable this game is. Now, with a couple caveats, I can also see the potential, if you're playing this game a lot, the potential for the fun factor to not exist. You need to get people in the mode. You need to get people realizing that they want to put down skulls and bluff each other out and create that sense of tension around the table. And if you don't do that, if everybody's just putting down flowers, then you say, haha, I know everybody put down flowers, teaching somebody the game, and then just say 5 right off the bat and flip over everybody's cards and win, and you say, haha, I win, then you're not going to like get people into the game or really pull them in. But if you can set the stage for where people understand the concepts, understand the reasonings for putting down a skull or putting down a flower, and really understand the game, that's when it can start to shine and be a really great thing that you can pull out at the beginning of the night, at the end of the night, or on a lunch break, which is how I've been using it over the course of this summer, and just have a fun time bluffing. It's Perudo, it's liar's dice, it's devilish dice without the sexy time. But it is something, I wanted to put this on my head while I speak of it to represent my skull, but I don't think that's going to work. It is something, though, that has the potential to see a lot of play. Plus, the components are really satisfying. I mean, I don't know if these are the actual components of a real game because I had a bad copy. My copy here, I only got 3 of the blue and 5 green, which is not how you actually want to play this game. But I'm just going to cover it with contact paper and make myself a 6-player game, and even still, you can play a 5-player game. Or I have played a 6-player game with this as well, these restrictions in place. And it's been completely fine. Because whenever I lose the first one, I just throw away the one that was the bum one. And you're never really going to put down 4 coasters anyway, because then everybody would have a skull, since you have to turn over your own coasters first. But yeah, really solid game. It's one of those games that, like, it's tough to rate because I think objectively this could grow stale pretty quickly if you're playing with the same people and there isn't that sense of atmosphere around the table. I think it's a game that could be overplayed very easily. And I know that it doesn't really have, because it is so simple, it's not going to have like the longevity. I think I would always still turn to Coup if I wanted to play or really sink my teeth into being able to bluff in different ways. But for what it is, it's really solid. And I'm thrilled that I own a copy in my collection. And if that breakdown sounds fun, well, then I think you should get a copy as well. The potential is there, which is why I wanted to make a designated video about it. So yeah, it's really tough to rate this. I want to give it a seal of approval. I think I'm going to give it a seal of approval because it's just a solid game, easy premise, does what it does very well. But I also don't know if I would rate it like a 4 out of 5, you know? It might be a 3, might be a 3.5, could be a 5 some days. It's really variable in terms of how well this will hit, but I don't mind because of the low cost and low initiation fee, so to speak, both from a money perspective, a time perspective, and a teaching perspective. It's very easy to get this to the table, and this copy from Space Cowboys, again, don't know if that's if they're the ones who do it, still, is a really lovely production copy as well. So check out Skull. Thanks for watching. My name is Chris George, and I don't have a catchphrase, but I do have a fancy hat. So I think that's the most important thing. And also, this right here is a flower. What do you think? Do you think it's a flower, or do you think it's a skull? Well,